Right now on Good Morning America, first look, a confirmed tornado near Houston. Some 100 homes damaged. And more storms on the move this morning, just as holiday travel ramps up. Today, expected to be the busiest day to fly.
Overnight, another massive Russian attack on Ukraine. Just as peace talks intensify, this apartment building on fire, the rush to save children inside.
A potential plan to prevent health insurance premiums from skyrocketing, what the White House is considering, and the concern on Capitol Hill.
The recording allegedly claiming to reveal details about the ingredients in Campbell Soup, sparking an investigation. The company's response.
Plus, troubling new research on sleep apnea.
A company accidentally sells iPads for just $17. You won't believe what customers are now being asked to do.
And a man famous for his infomercials.
Damn wow, you'll be saying wow every time.
Throws his chamois in the ring for elected office.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America, First Look.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. I'm Sophie Flay.
And I'm Rena Roy. We begin with severe weather impacting holiday travel, with today expected to be the busiest day to fly.
Yeah, a major storm system is on the move after at least one confirmed tornado near Houston.
A powerful line of storms slamming parts of the South amid the busiest Thanksgiving travel season in 15 years. Multiple reports of tornadoes touching down north of Houston, the storm leaving a path of destruction. Aerial footage showing extensive damage to more than 100 homes, roofs blown off, debris scattered across yards. High winds toppling trees and breaking windows.
The wind was unbelievable. It was so forceful, it was like fighting 50 men. Until I finally got the door shut.
Today, more strong storms threatening the South from Mississippi to Georgia as rain moves into the Northeast, weather that could cause delays on what's expected to be the busiest day for air travel. The FAA projecting a spike in flights with more than 52,000 scheduled today alone. Officials say they're prepared with air traffic control staffing as airports rebound from the government shutdown.
This week is our Super Bowl, and I'm here to tell you we've got a great plan. We're past the lapse. Controllers are back at work.
But even with agencies prepared, airlines are grappling with a different challenge: passenger behavior. The FAA citing a 400% increase in unruly behavior on flights in recent years. Now, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is launching a campaign to bring civility back to the skies. He's suggesting travelers dress more appropriately to encourage better behavior on planes.
I would encourage people to maybe dress a little better, which encourages us to maybe behave a little better. Let's try not to wear slippers and pajamas as we come to the airport.
As for the weather, we'll check your forecast in just a few moments.
Russian missiles were raining down on Ukraine overnight, targeting power plants and residential buildings in the capital. Some areas lost power and civilians seeking cover were forced to spend the night in the subway. At least 6 people were killed. Video circulating online shows an apartment building on fire. Rescuers rushed to save children, carrying them down smoke-filled stairwells. The attacks come after some progress was reported on a peace plan offered by the U.S. The plan no longer calls for limits on the size of Ukraine's army, but several key issues still need to be worked out.
Now to a major setback for the Trump administration's effort to prosecute the former director of the FBI and the current Attorney General of New York. Here's ABC's Lionel Moise.
This morning, Attorney General Pam Bondi says the Justice Department will appeal after a federal judge dismissed cases against 2 of President Trump's political rivals, former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. Comey was charged with making a false statement to Congress and obstructing a proceeding. James was charged with making false statements to get a mortgage.
I'm grateful that the court ended the case against me, which was a prosecution based on malevolence and incompetence.
The judge ruled the president's handpicked prosecutor, Lindsay Halligan, had no lawful authority to present the indictment. Halligan was an insurance lawyer who had never tried a criminal case and was a White House aide when she was named acting U.S. attorney after her predecessor determined there was not enough evidence to bring charges against Comey or James.
The message has to be sent that the President of the United States cannot use the Department of Justice to target his political enemies.
James writing, I remain fearless in the face of these baseless charges as I continue fighting for New Yorkers. The ruling coming the same day the Pentagon threatened to court-martial Senator and retired astronaut Mark Kelly for recording this video with 5 other Democratic lawmakers.
I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
The video posted last week urges military service members to refuse any illegal orders. President Trump calling the 6 lawmakers traitors. Kelly, who flew combat missions in Iraq before becoming an astronaut, is the only one of the 6 who falls under the jurisdiction of military courts because he's formally retired and receives benefits. If it's determined he engaged in misconduct, he could be subject to military prosecution. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth saying encouraging our warriors to ignore the orders of their commanders undermines every aspect of good order and discipline. Hegseth saying the video sows doubt and confusion.
I said something that was pretty simple and non-controversial, and that was that members of the military should follow the law. And in response to that, Donald Trump said I should be executed, I should be hanged, I should be prosecuted.
Kelly could face a disciplinary process that could potentially result in a demotion affecting his retirement benefits. As for James Comey, the Justice Department may not be able to pursue the same charges against him again because of the statute of limitations. Sophie, Rena.
All right, Lionel, thank you. President Trump is reportedly considering a plan to address concerns about skyrocketing health insurance premiums. Obamacare premiums are set to jump in January. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has details. Nicole, good morning.
Rena, good morning to you. Multiple reports say the White House is preparing a plan that would extend Obamacare subsidies for another 2 years. Now, you'll recall those subsidies were the main factor behind the recent government shutdown. They expire at the very end of this year, but Trump's plan would reportedly impose new restrictions on who's eligible for those subsidies. The restrictions would include income caps. Enrollees would also be required to make a minimum payment, and there could be an option for people to receive part of their subsidies in a savings account if they move down to a lower cost plan. Now, the White House says these details have not been decided on just yet, but many Republicans on Capitol Hill are voicing outrage at the idea of extending the subsidies. They want to scrap Obamacare altogether, saying it's too expensive and inefficient. But of course, the clock is ticking with those subsidies expiring in just over a month. Sophie.
Nicole, thank you. The death of a Florida teen on a Carnival cruise has now been ruled a homicide. Authorities say 18-year-old Anna Kepner was asphyxiated. She was on vacation with her family, including a stepbrother who's been referred to as a possible suspect. Kepner's grandparents say her stepbrother claims he doesn't remember what happened. The woman at the center of the Slender Man stabbing case faces an extradition hearing today after being arrested in Illinois. 23-year-old Morgan Geyser is accused of cutting off her monitoring bracelet and escaping from a group home in Wisconsin. She pleaded guilty years ago to stabbing a classmate 19 times to please the fictional character Slender Man. Her attorney insists she's no longer a violent risk.
We turn now to disturbing claims from New York firefighters accusing the city of a possible cover-up involving the health risks in Lower Manhattan after 9/11.
This morning, New York firefighters and their union are demanding answers, accusing the city of hiding evidence of toxins at Ground Zero after the September 11th attacks. The allegation follows the discovery of 68 boxes that union officials say contain information about toxins in the air that the city allegedly knew about but never shared.
They had real testing done, and when that testing was done, it was suppressed and everyone was told the air was safe. People would have made different choices.
The group claims the documents contain life and death data and prove city leaders at the time knew about asbestos in the air but concealed the information.
We really need to know who lied then and who kept this lie alive.
Since 9/11, about 400 members of the New York Fire Department have died from illnesses linked to Ground Zero toxins, with thousands of other people potentially exposed. The city has declined to discuss the documents, citing ongoing litigation with first responders and their families. But the city saying we remain dedicated to getting 9/11 victims and their families the answers they need.
And the city says it's working on releasing more documents.
Time now for your Tuesday weather.
Good morning. Everything from snow to severe weather on the map today. The snow in the northern plains, the severe weather that was over Texas on Monday now shifts to Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. From the Tennessee to Ohio Valley, we'll have travel delays in terms of rain, and that rain starts to move into the northeast tonight. Good soaking I-95 corridor as we go into tonight. Snow breaking out across the Great Lakes in the upper Midwest. More showery on Wednesday. By the time we get into Wednesday afternoon, the lake effect snows get going. It's a quiet Thanksgiving map. More lake snows and blustery into the northeast. That's your forecast. I'm ABC News meteorologist Lee Goldberg.
Coming up, troubling new research on sleep apnea.
Also ahead, the recording allegedly revealing details about the ingredients in Campbell Soup, now sparking an investigation.
And later, the new way thieves are stealing packages delivered to your home. We're back with a terrifying crash. A dump truck with its bed raised took down a whole sign along Interstate 70 near Columbus, Ohio. The truck hit a second sign before the driver pulled over. No one was hurt. The road was closed for hours.
Now to the controversial comments about Campbell Soup, allegedly made by a company executive.
Campbell's.
Good. This morning, Campbell Soup is denying claims about its products, allegedly made by an executive in a recorded conversation. The person in the recording is also heard belittling Campbell's customers during an expletive-filled rant.
We have that's for poor people. Who buys our I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's unhealthy. Now that I know what the in it, I can eat bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
The recording is allegedly from a conversation that's now part of a lawsuit filed by Robert Garza, a cybersecurity analyst for Campbell's, who claims he was fired after reporting the alleged remarks, which he says also included racist comments about company employees. Garza claims Campbell executive Martin Bally made those comments after the two met to discuss Garza's salary. In a statement, Garza's attorney saying, "This situation has been very hard on Robert. He thought Campbell's would be thankful that he reported Martin's behavior, but instead, he was abruptly fired." Campbell's responding, saying, "If the comments were in fact made, they are unacceptable. They do not reflect our values and the culture of our company." And going on to say, "The comments heard on the recording about our food are not only inaccurate, they are patently absurd."
Nothing melts away the cold like a delicious hot bowl of Campbell's Soup.
Campbell saying, "The chicken meat used in our soups comes from long-trusted, USDA-approved U.S. suppliers and meets our high-quality standards." And the company noting, Bally worked in IT and had nothing to do with food production. Bally is on leave, pending a company investigation. In the meantime, the Attorney General in Florida, a state that bans lab-grown meat, says his office is now investigating Campbell's products.
And we reached out to Martin Bally, but did not hear back. Campbell says it has not been able to verify the recording.
A new study links sleep apnea to Parkinson's disease. Researchers analyzed medical records of military veterans and found those with sleep apnea were nearly twice as likely to develop Parkinson's. And the study found using a CPAP machine appeared to lower the risk. The study did not confirm the apnea caused Parkinson's, so more research is needed. But one doctor saying it makes sense that a sleep condition that limits oxygen to the brain could contribute to a neurological disease.
Well, coming up, the woman inside a coffin found alive.
Also ahead, a warning about the ad all over social media offering chocolate at a cheap price, what we've learned about the ad. A shocking story overseas. A woman in Thailand was found to be alive moments before she was set to be cremated. The 65-year-old's brother brought her to a temple for cremation, and that is when she was heard knocking on the inside of her coffin. She was taken to a hospital. It's believed no foul play was involved.
There's a new way criminals are stealing your holiday packages. Authorities on Long Island, New York, released this video of thieves confronting FedEx trucks, stealing packages containing phones and other electronic devices. Officials say the suspects would hack into the FedEx delivery network and set up deliveries using fake names, but real addresses of random homeowners to use as convenient drop-off locations. The stolen electronics were then resold. So far, 14 suspects have been indicted.
Now to a warning about a popular ad on social media offering cheap chocolate for the holidays.
The ad on Facebook seems perfect for the season. A good deal on chocolate in bulk. In this case, about 20 pounds of Hershey Kisses for under $11. Susan Golding was hooked.
I filled out the form and I sent it in, and 2 days later, maybe 3 days later, I saw posted to my credit card, the 1095.
But Golding says she never got the Hershey Kisses. Instead, she received a second charge of $81 from the same company, listed on her credit card statement as Silvercraft Watch.
I got in the car and went right over to the bank and I said, I want to dispute that charge. I never agreed to it.
Our Philadelphia station, WPVI, called the company shown on Golding's credit card statement. A representative said the Facebook ad was for a sweepstakes, not a purchase. And the company claimed the terms and conditions were disclosed online, including information about a book club that costs $81 per month.
And I said, no, I definitely read the fine print, but I know there was definitely nothing about a book club.
In response, Hershey saying, "We're aware of fraudulent activity. We're actively working with Facebook to protect consumers." The company saying the only official place it sells directly to consumers is the Hershey website.
After our Philadelphia station got involved, Golding got a full refund.
Coming up, big news concerning an elephant at the National Zoo.
Plus, a man famous for his infomercials now running for Congress.
Time to check the pulse, and we begin with an advertising debacle for an electronics retailer.
Yeah, get this. A store accidentally sold iPads for just $17 each. Customers jumped at the offer for the 13-inch iPad, normally priced at $1,000. It took the company based in Italy 11 days to realize the mistake.
It's now asking customers to return the iPads or pay full price. But a contract under Italian law can be voided if the pricing mistake is obvious. We'll see if anyone returns theirs.
Yeah, TBD.
Yeah. Next, the most famous baseball fan could be taking the mound sometime soon.
Yeah, Pope Leo is a big White Sox fan after growing up near Chicago, and the man buying the team met the Pope recently, giving him an autographed jersey. Word is he asked Leo if he would be willing to throw out a first pitch, and the Pope said he would love to. Next, one of the most famous pitchmen ever is running for Congress.
You may not know his name, but you'll remember what he sold.
Hi, it's Vince with ShamWow. You'll be saying wow every time you use this towel. It's like a chamois, it's like a towel, it's like a sponge. A regular towel doesn't work.
Vince, the ShamWow guy, is Vince Shlomi, now running for Texas for a seat held by Congressman John Carter. The ShamWow guy faces a steep challenge. Carter beat a primary opponent last year by more than 50 points. Next, two lucky birds are getting a pass just in time for Thanksgiving.
That's right. Gobble and Waddle are set to receive the traditional presidential pardon at the White House today, but not before getting the royal treatment at the Willard Hotel in Washington.
After the White House ceremony, Gobble and Waddle will return to their home state of North Carolina to live out the rest of their days in comfort. And finally, a very big baby is on the way at the National Zoo.
An Asian elephant is expecting. She recently got an ultrasound. It will be the zoo's first calf in 25 years. Elephant pregnancies typically last 18 to 22 months. The calf is expected to arrive between mid-January and March.
Top headlines next. Checking more top stories, a deadly crash on Highway 83 south of Denver. Police say 5 people were killed, including 3 children, when a vehicle somehow lost control and rolled over into oncoming traffic.
The Secretary of the U.S. Army is meeting with a Russian delegation in Abu Dhabi today to discuss a U.S. peace plan for Ukraine. It comes after another deadly night of Russian attacks in Ukraine's capital.
A growing mystery in Virginia, where high school football coach Travis Turner has been missing since Thursday. The school district says a staff member is now on leave pending an investigation, but no word if that employee is Turner or what the investigation is focused on.
The oldest known living survivor of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre has died. Viola Fletcher was 111. Tulsa's mayor says Fletcher never stopped advocating for justice for the survivors and descendants.
Today's weather, rain and snow in the northwest, heavier snow in the northern plains, rain across much of the east.
And finally, celebrating 100 years of photo booths.
Our Danny New tried some out.
An experience that's hard to come by these days.
Amazing.
Getting your picture taken in a vintage analog photo booth.
It's an ode to a dying art.
Bree Conley-Saxon here is one of the last photo booth technicians on Earth. And even though there are less than 300 analog photo booths left worldwide,
so these are all my booths in the U.S.
She just opened up a New York gallery called Autophoto where you can step inside some of her collection.
This is our oldest booth. It's the Model 9.
For example, there's the Model 9 here, which is close to 80 years old.
Do I do this?
No.
Don't shake it.
And the Polaroid booth you saw earlier, which Bree believes is the only working one left on the planet.
One more. One more.
I tried out some of the booths with Jane August, whom you may remember my story on from a few weeks ago as she tries to visit all roughly 200 museums in New York City.
Yes.
Whoa.
After taking many pictures, we got a behind-the-scenes look at exactly how these classic booths actually developed our strips. As you can see, it's basically a little dark room back there.
When does it get my face?
You're in toner, so that'll be here.
That's why when your photo finally comes out, it's a little wet. However, while getting your picture taken is fun, what may be the most impactful part of the museum
One of the original cameras from the inventor
is the exhibit on the inventor, Anatole Josepho, who invented the photo booth in New York 100 years ago this year. She even has an authentic century-old photo strip of Anatole and his dog, which, for Bree, kind of sums up her whole mission here.
Your photo lasts a lifetime. It's, something to cherish and hold on to forever.
Which is why I'm keeping these forever. Also on their website, autophoto.org, you can see a list of their other locations with analog photo booths, including Chicago, Seattle, Nashville, Birmingham, and Boise, Idaho, guys.
Looks fun. Thanks, Danny. And that's your Good Morning America First Look.
Have a great day, everyone.